Hey, how we doing? So my name's Noah. I run Connecting Comics, I guess. I'm trying to just spitball this, kick it out there, and do it. Watching guys like Bueller, and the one that I watch the most is probably Comic Tom, and it seems they just have this ability to put themselves out there and just do it. They can live all day long. So, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. Here we go. I'm just gonna totally do this. First one's always rough, right? So you probably saw I did a small little one earlier the other day, but this one you actually get to see my face. So we're gonna go through and open a ton of boxes. Now there was a holiday, so I'm guessing that's part of the reason why they kind of stacked up. But everything was late today. I couldn't believe it. Just been on pins and needles trying to figure stuff out, waiting for this to come in. But let's see what we got here. So, first one. Got some stuff from Unknown Comics. Now, I've been trying to find online places, different places to buy comic books, and I can understand some have, I guess, a little more difficulty getting things out on time, or I can understand if they get a lot of people purchasing from them, but that's kind of the, I guess, the price you pay when you don't have a local comic book store. So, I'll go ahead and just toss that down there. You don't need to see my address, sure. Seen a few videos about that. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Now, this... Ooh. So, who likes that? I know I like that. With Detective Comics coming up to 1,000. And a good read. Oh. So, I picked up a couple of these. Love this cover. The amount of power that she just, her face, that look, that determination that says, I'm not going to stop. No matter what you do, I'm going to win. Awesome. Awesome cover. So now, so I'm pretty sure that I ordered the variant of the Flash. In fact, I'll have to go back and look, but at least I'll read it. The Flash. So he's been coming up on a few. Been reading through some of the DC previews. I like that they give out that information early enough. Gives you kind of that, gets into your head. The what's coming up, what's coming next. Why should I start reading that now versus just picking it up for the cover or picking it up because, oh, it's got a key. Well, if it's got a key, why does it have a key? Is there anything leading up to that point that's going to get me to want to read that comic book and keep going? I think that's it's kind of what I'm finding with DC. I'm really liking. It's the anticipation that they build up that gets you to read the other comic books and go back and buy the other ones. So I've been doing quite a bit of that recently. Now, absolutely love that cover. These Batgirls and freaking Supergirl have just been killing it. I gotta say, loving it. So those were from Unknown Comics, place I've been trying to go in and get my comic books. I'm not plugging for them. I'm not getting paid for this. Just put it out there that there's a couple of different places that you can go where if you buy your comic books out a couple of months ahead of time, don't worry about the hype. If you're here to read it and you want to see it and you want to know that you have a copy for you to save, to archive, to sell, whatever down the road, if they becomes, like one of the Batgirls from last year that was ridiculous. It's a good thing to do. And then keep one for yourself to read. I think this is a great way to do it. And if anything, I usually just pick the variants anyways. Half the time, they don't even have a picture for them when I'm ordering them 2 months, 3 months ahead of time, because at that point, I think they're like 35% off. So totally okay with doing that, knowing that, yeah, I'm probably still going to get something pretty darn awesome. So this one's a little easier. I don't need a scalpel to remove anything. All right. Though, always be careful when you're opening these things. Not saying a snake's gonna jump out and bite you, but it's better to be safe than sorry. This will guarantee you don't damage your comic books. And if you're buying comic books for more than just yourself, I do from time to time, and you'll see in some of these comic books here coming up. All right, so as I said, connecting comics. Now these are more connecting comics. So we've got, look at that. Ah. Can I get it right? Oh man, that is spectacular. Now I'm going to start working eventually on getting things framed, and I think there's a couple different ways I'd like to do it to make them more presentable, to be able to put them up to show. Put them up on the wall. That's where they deserve to go. And these things are absolutely amazing. I'll post up some pictures of this on the Instagram as well later. All right, so here comes the next one. Now, if you guys want to, just comment down there. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you like. What do you think of getting all your comic books in a situation where the only place you can get them is eBay? Now, sometimes you're buying back issues. Sometimes you're buying well ahead. Every once in a while, you're buying on hype. Sometimes you get lucky and you jump in and you get the price before everybody else's goes sky high, but that's been trying to avoid doing that. I've done it a few times and realized that the end of the day, those comic books, give them a week or two, the majority of them, 99% of them, are going to be half the price they are. Even during the small dip after the initial freak out, I guess you could say, when it starts going on sale, and then all of a sudden everybody's getting their comic books and putting them up, and now the market's flooded. You got 1 million of them to pick from. So there are a couple here that I've ordered that, like, I'm pretty sure I know what most of these are. There's a good chunk of them that are connecting comics. I got a couple more coming too. Man, people love their tape. All right, so this is another connecting comic. So this one is Future's End. Now, I will say DC does a really good job of doing a lot of connecting covers. Especially the Unity series. I almost picked a few of those up. It's yeah. I'm not a fan of putting multiple comic books into the same sleeve, especially when you're using a modern sleeve. Now, I can understand if you're taking like a Silver Age sleeve and you're tucking two in there. It allows enough room that everything can move around. You're not going to damage the corners. Granted, these aren't keys, but to me, these are just as important to me. I mean, this is you're sending somebody a comic book that they have purposely gone out and looked for. To me, these are these are art. These are worth looking at and enjoying and appreciating. And I think most people would agree with me. How can I get it right? All right, so we've got 23, 24, 25. So those two together. Isn't that awesome? And then those two together. Looks like Superman's having a lazy day. It's a casual day for Superman. All right. So I'm going to go and put these ones over here. I'm going to give them new sleeves later. Last thing I want to do is leave them running around by themselves. If you're still watching, absolutely thank you for coming and watching and hanging out with me. So this first one I'm not doing live so much. I'm still kind of figuring out how to do everything, where to put everything, how to line things up, and I've seen a couple of the different pages where they have the ability to stream with the names and whatnot, and they're putting a backdrop behind them. I will probably eventually do that. I kind of like the setup. I'm hoping that you like the setup too. I'm hoping that it's enough here that piques your interest to want to see, well, what is this guy opening? At this point, I'm kind of wondering the same thing, right? I mean, this is crazy. This is more tape. He did every single seam, I think, even if it wasn't a seam. Kudos. Nicely done, sir. Or ma'am. All right. So what do we got here? We've got paper. More paper. We got what would appear to be, make sure there's no extra special ones. Every once in a while, somebody does. They throw a little something extra in there. I know I do. When I sell comic books, I would say about every 5th or 6th one, I just throw in a comic book, something that I have doubles of. Helps, you know, a lot of the ones that I'm probably not going to sell, they're not keys, but they're usually not ones that, you know, anybody's looking for. So find something like that, you might actually read through and find that, hey, wow, I actually like this. This one's special for me. So we're gonna I'm gonna be extra careful with this one. So I think one of those ones where there's a gentleman on a show called We Love Comics, and he is always preaching about how you should wait for a good deal. You should look for the deal that's going to get you the comic book that you want in the price range that you're willing to pay. And I tell you why, because this, these are going ridiculously priced on Evil Bay. So I'm going to be extremely careful in holding that, because there's no backing board. That is beautiful. There's not a scratch on it. The binding is perfect. This little lady is getting CGC'd. So the main purpose that I've been looking for these, well, looking for that one in particular, is because to me, my big key to get for the tax return time was a first appearance of Gambit. Now, he also included in here, all of these do not have any backing boards, so I'm being really careful and kind of taking my time trying to get these out so that I don't damage anything. They are beautiful. So these are all going to get, I'm pretty sure, slabbed. Granted, maybe not the 2 and the 3, but so we got this one earlier this year. Guess we're still pretty early in the year, but picked this one up, just a couple of weeks ago. So now I have the Golden Gambit. I have First Appearance Gambit. So next one I'm working on, I don't have it in here, it looks like, but there's another one coming that I think the idea is to do Bizarro this year. So I picked up I believe it's an 8.5 for the first appearance of Supergirl Bizarro. I think this year I keep looking at it and keep wanting to do a Daredevil #1. After the show just got canceled, I imagine the hype for it is probably going to last a couple more months, probably 6-8 months, maybe 9. After that, I think it's going to wane. I think it's going to start coming back down a little bit, and the prices are going to settle, and then I'm going to buy my Daredevil #1. For now, Bizarro. Really not much out there as far as content, as far as movies, cartoons. There's a few, but there's not a whole lot, which to me means it's a cheaper key. It's a key that you're not going to spend an arm and a leg. Yes, it's a Silver Age, almost a Golden Age, and I think it is totally worth getting. To me it is. I love Superman, love DC. I love Marvel too. But I think I've always been a DC guy. So all right, let's see what we got here. Now this one, like I said, where I buy comic books not just for me. My kids love to read as well. So your local comic book store, library, wherever it is that's hosting it this year, look for your free comic book day. Now remember, they still have to pay for those things. They're paying like $1/4 a book. So even if you just pick up another book for every, say, 2 or 3 of these things that you pick up, they're at least cutting even, and they're not going negative. And I mean, it's good to get in there. Most people are going in. I think they were talking about it on the other video earlier today, where when they were live, that a lot of these people, you're talking single-digit returns for people that actually come back. So I think it's good to get out there and support them. Like I said, I don't have a local comic book store, so my support goes mostly online, and occasionally we go over to, whenever we're in one of the other bigger towns around, almost always go to a comic book store. Usually visit 1 or 2 and go and try and pick up a few. So this one is from Canada. Some good gentleman sent me, and then I purchased. And the entire run of Adventure Time. All of it. It's a lot of Adventure Time. My kids are going to love these, and they know how to take care of them as well and to keep them into sleeves. So they'll go through and re-sleeve them, and then they'll get 1 or 2 a day as they do their chores. So it's a good incentive. I think pretty darn cool. More comic nerds, I know, right? Just what we need. Keep it going. All right. One last one. I wonder what this one is. It's a good sized box, too. It doesn't feel heavy, so it's not what I think it is. I think this is a comic book. I think this is, as I throw my address, hopefully, as it horribly goes out of focus. Ooh, what do we have here? I would say that's very well packaged. There is one comic book that was in that box. One comic book. That was awesome. Okay, so I'm going to ECCC here next month. I wanted to get a few books to get signed. I have almost everything that I want to get signed already in my collection, which is cool. Last year was very different. Last year I had to buy a bunch of stuff. This year I'm only buying one comic book to get signed and CGC'd. There's a few little nicks, I think one or two. It's like one, two color breaks. Very small. So it'll still be like, what, a 9.4, 9.6. But this is going to get triple signatured. Yeah. How you like that? That, Mrs. Bullseye, Lady Bullseye, excuse me. She'd kill me for it, I swear. So, this one is going to get signed, signatured, and put up. Now, you can't see, but behind you there is a wall mural to Daredevil. I'll do a video in front of it one of these times, okay? You can see what I'm doing, see what I have, but I'm a little bit of a Daredevil fan, so that was awesome. All right, so I think that brings us to a close. I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe. I think I'm going to start doing a few live videos here and there as I build the website out. So I'm really excited about this website. So what it is all across the internet, everywhere that you look, there is no one place to look for the material that tells you who made those comic books, which comic books are they, when I'm trying to find connecting covers. Now, some of these connecting covers freaking massive. I mean, you're 3x3, 2x8. I don't know if you've seen them. Go online and look. Like, there's Negan, Original Sin. There's so many. Now, a lot of them, most of them are from today. Most of them are from the last couple of years. Now, as we roll through back further, you find that there are a few, especially like back in the 80s. I think there's one or two in the 70s, but most of those are ones that some people call them hidden, I think hidden jigsaw puzzle. There was different names that I found for them for earlier, because nobody knew. It wasn't publicized that these were connecting comics. It was just if somebody happened to put them together and actually had them looking at them, and they'd say, holy cow, they all connect. So this is the kind of thing that really just gets me excited about this and makes me want to create some content that is for you, for me. It's for all of us to be able to go and find these things that are just hidden gems out there that we may not even know exist. So I want you to help me tag along, and we'll see what we find. Thanks, and I'll catch you on the next one.